Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name's Eloise and I would like to extend a very warm welcome to each and every single
Can't hear you. Click on that mute thing again.
And we'd like to thank you for coming along and participating in our online event to honour your mum and our mums collectively. Danielle and I will both be saying a few words this morning, and for those of you who we have not had the pleasure of meeting in person, we are the founders of MDA. Fingers crossed that all going well technology-wise and we can get the mute and unmute working. Provided that technology plays along. And as Danielle said, it might be a bit clunky. We would love for you to take as many photos of your screen as possible, to upload them, check in on Facebook to say that you're at an MDA event, and to include us in your stories. Today, the 3rd of May, marks the first day of MDA Awareness Week, a week-long opportunity in the lead up to Mother's Day to raise awareness that we exist as a support network and to create awareness within the wider community on how to best support motherless daughters. In a world without COVID, various states would now be gathering at their pre-Mother's Day high tea event, and for the states we haven't yet made it to, we promise we are working very hard to get there. Many women who have attended our high tea events feel that the Sunday before Mother's Day is their day to honour their mum and to honour themselves by indulging and looking after their needs. And so even though our events are postponed, we weren't going to let this bloody virus stop us from gathering to honour our mums this year, as it is incredibly important that we unite during this time. And perhaps COVID's presence has a positive for us in the fact that for the first time, we are able to gather on a national scale.
Oh, wow. I can see so many of you taking photos, and I'm trying really hard not to cry because it's just so beautiful that we are all here, united as one big community. It's really, I really hope that everyone's got the grid view on, because it's really beautiful. So yeah, it's just to echo Eloise. It's so wonderful that you've all joined and that you're all a part of this really amazing online event. Sorry, I'm going to be a little bit come and go because I've got to watch up there to admit people. I really just wanted to touch on the power of community. I'm sorry, I think I'm going to get a little bit emotional now. Look, particularly at this time of year, it's so important that we unite as one. And look, we've got a network of around 4,000 women, and there are millions out there who don't yet know about us or our organisation. And there's a real power in comfort in knowing that there are others just like us out there. And sorry, I've got to admit somebody else. And a common bond, a mutual understanding, and just a genuine love, respect and openness to all other women who are in the same shoes. If anything, we are a real place for validation and reassurance. So thank you for being a part of that and helping to make MDA what it is. Mother's Day can be a really difficult time for us. We're often left with mixed feelings about seeing others with their mum and all the promotions, and that others have their mum to celebrate in the flesh. You're bombarded with promotions, and it often makes the whole lead up much worse. Often the lead up is worse than the day itself. Look, for some of you who have children, that the day might take on a new meaning, but no doubt there will be a sadness and an emptiness that remains of not having your own mum here. I just wanted to take this opportunity now to share a little or a brief part of the history and origin of Mother's Day, because I am very sure that it will provide some comfort to you. So in the late 1800s in the USA, during the Civil War, a woman named Anne Jarvis cared for the wounded on both sides. And during that time, she tried to orchestrate peace between the Union and Confederate mums by forming a Mother's Friendship Day. but unfortunately, she passed away before being able to implement that day of acknowledgement. Anne's daughter, Anna, was really devastated by her mum's death, as we can all appreciate, and received many cards of sympathy and acknowledgement for her mum's work. So as a result, Anna found a way to memorialise her mum by carrying through her mum's wishes to promote a day to honour all mums. And so came Mother's Day as a result of that. So the first event was held in May in 1908, and although Anna didn't attend, she sent 500 white carnations along to the event, as they were her mum's favourite flowers, and encouraged all sons and daughters to wear the carnations in honour of their own mum, and to represent a mother's love and how unique it is. And so perhaps with that in mind, there is a real comfort and confidence, I guess, maybe instilled in some of you, that knowing that the origin of Mother's Day came from a daughter whose mother had died, and how she could honour her mum. So please keep that in mind as we go through this week and as we approach Mother's Day. And speaking of honouring, I'd now like to welcome Christy, who is our special guest speaker for today and fellow motherless daughter, who she's going to share some of her story and more importantly, how she continues to honour her mum. So Christy, if you could just unmute yourself, please.
All good?
All good, can hear you. And I will monitor the chat here as well, if anyone has any questions for you while you're talking. If there's a spot that I can interrupt you, I will, and I'll ask. So over to you.
Okay, well, I want to say hi to everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Christy. I live in Melbourne with my husband and my 2 boys. And this is just a little bit about my story. So in October 2008 was the worst news of my life. So as you all can relate, the same thing would have happened to you guys when you found out that your mum was sick, or, you know, the devastating news that occurred. Prior to October, my mum had a swollen wrist. We weren't sure what it was, but being as stubborn as she was, she never went to the doctors since I was pretty much born, so she wasn't going to go then. She did go to the pharmacy, and they did tell her that it possibly looked like carpal tunnel, so she let it go and carried on with everything, but her wrist kept losing some fine motor growth skills. She was getting weak in her hand. In October 2008, I got a phone call from my brother saying that the ambulance has come. They think Mum may have had a stroke. That actually wasn't the case. The swelling in her hand caused this side of her brain to have a seizure, and they found that she had lesions on her brain. They weren't sure where the lesions were coming from until they did tests, and those tests resulted in a lung cancer that was there for approximately 10 years. So she had no other symptoms of knowing, which was probably more kind of angry for me, because maybe if we knew something, we could have maybe saved her life. Anyway, that's how that story went. It was so heartbreaking from that moment that I got that phone call, because I kind of knew that things weren't going to pan out the way I hoped they would. My life felt like it was already ending in some way. I felt like I'd already started grieving and she hadn't even passed away. We lived in Melbourne and she lived in the country, so when I got that phone call straight away, we decided to pack our bags. Didn't know how long we were going to stay with my mum for, and we drove there, and I think that 2 hours of getting there felt like we were never going to arrive. So basically when I got to the hospital, my mum just looked normal. She looked so strong. She looked like nothing was wrong with her. But I think now looking back, that was her way of kind of not showing fear onto me. And she tried to be strong and just show no emotion. Pretty much, we went to so many specialist appointments. She had so much treatment that we thought there may have been some hope. Then in January, she started to pretty much like go in and out of consciousness at home. I moved in with her for the last couple of weeks because I knew my dad. I just wanted to be with my mum. Like all of you guys, I knew my time was cut pretty much short. And they did tell us that she did have about 3 months to live. So that got me even more angry, knowing that someone could put a time limit on my mum's life. So I knew she tried to fight so hard. She tried to stay positive. We never spoke about death. We never spoke about what would happen after, which now I kind of think I wish we did. There's so many questions that, I wish I could have asked her, and I wish I could have known what she was feeling. But I think for her, in that way, she didn't want to scare me, or she didn't want to actually really tell me how she felt. So it was just really hard for me to see her like that. I always thought my mum was the strongest woman alive. I thought she was invincible. I didn't think anything like this would ever happen to her or ever happen to me. So you can just imagine, knowing that she only had 3 months left, it was just something that I could not put my head around. Never in my life did I think that it just would ever happen to me, having such a great bond with my mum, and then, just falling apart right before my eyes. Although I had so much support, in some way I didn't want it. I felt like I pushed everybody away. I didn't want to speak to anyone. No one knew better than me. I knew that I wanted my mum, and I knew that wasn't going to happen because I knew her time was coming very, very close to the end. And for me, I think it wasn't the fact that how she passed away, because in the end, when I was with her at her home, like I said, she was starting to become in and out of consciousness. And one day I said to my dad, this isn't normal. We've been taking her to all her radiotherapy appointments, and she was losing mobility in her legs. She couldn't walk. And I knew that this type of cancer wasn't supposed to be doing that to her. And in fact, she was actually diagnosed with a staph infection, which was too late to pick up. And that's pretty much how she passed away. Her organs decided to just, shut down and fail. And in the end, there was just nothing that they could do, which was kind of the worst part, knowing that if they may have picked that up as well, they could have maybe treated that, and I could have had a little bit extra time with her. So pretty much from the date that she had her first seizure to the date that she passed away was exactly 3 months. So we didn't really know at that time. I was quite young. I wasn't really aware. I went to them and I said to them, my mum isn't walking. There's got to be something else that's wrong with her. So basically in the end, it was, like I said, too late. They told us to get a family for us to say goodbye to her. And I remember staying in the intensive care unit. I slept on the awkwardest. I didn't care. I didn't even sleep. But I just, knowing that I wanted to be with her was just more important to me. I didn't want to leave her by herself. Basically, when the doctors told us that the time was getting closer, we pretty much just, said our goodbyes. And then after she passed away, I remember going into her room and I said to her, Mum, you really need to keep me strong. I don't think I can do this without you. I said to her, I don't know if I can be a mother. I don't know if I can be a wife. I don't know if I can still carry on in my life without you. And in some way saying that, I do believe she has put strength over me and she's made me become stronger. So I think that has kind of gotten me through where I am today. Okay, right. So basically, I still feel, I still have that anger with me. It's been 11 years, and I still feel like, you know, I was ripped off the time that I had with my mum. But, you know, unfortunately, with Mother's Day, the first couple of years, for me, even though I was a mother myself, I just couldn't bring myself to celebrate Mother's Day. I just felt like, well, I didn't have a mum anymore. You know, it just didn't feel right. I then began to realize, you know, that it was quite selfish. I then had another child, so 2 boys. And I just felt sorry for these 2 boys. You know, they wanted to celebrate my life and being a mother for them. And I know they never really understood what I was going through, but I finally realized that it wasn't fair that they missed out on Mother's Day with me. So Mother's Day for me is just like every other day when it comes to honouring my mum. I honour my mum each and every day in some way or another. From the way that I decide to raise my boys, from my beliefs with what my mum had taught me. So pretty much I bring up my boys the way my mum has brought me up. So I will carry on the same upbringing with my children. So before she passed away, like I said, I did promise her that I will make sure that my boys will never forget her. In one way or another, we tell stories, I show them photos, and they ask me questions, and with, you know, pride and honour, I tell them everything about the times that we had together and what we shared, you know, the sad times, the fun times. And they always, my older boy especially, he always says to me, oh, Mum, I miss Nana so much. And he was only 3 at the time, but we've got home videos and things like that. So we always try and keep her spirit alive. So I also just wanted to say that it's just a great honour to be a part of this group. Having the opportunity to share my story today, knowing that there are other people here just like me with heartache, makes me feel safe, and knowing that I have this amazing support with everyone around me. So I know our mums would be so proud, and I'm sure that they miss us just as much as we miss them. So I just want to say today, when we do raise our glasses, I will be raising my large cup of tea, because my mum had loved tea so much that she would drink numerous amounts a day. We'll propose a toast to our fallen mothers, the angels that God so desperately needed in heaven. And I'm sure that they would be all watching down on us in their own little group. Proud to be watching us, us women who are supporting each other. And although we lost something so dear to us, we need to remember that our mothers have lost daughters too. So I know my mum wouldn't want me to be so sad. Sorry. So I'll stay happy knowing that I have the support that I need. I hope that she is with all the mothers who have been taken from their daughters and have found some comfort, as I have with the Motherless Daughters group. I thank Danielle and Eloise for creating what we have today. May our strength continue as we open our arms to any daughter who is missing their mother, and to know that they are able to smile again. And I think this one is the greatest thing that we can do to honour our mums and the love that we have for them. So please remember to find happiness, to live life and love deeply, and live like your mother would want you to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christy. That was just beautiful, and I can see so many people related to your story, and
Yeah.
just the way you spoke about honouring your mum, not only at Mother's Day, but every day as well. I think that was really beautiful.
Maybe we'll all give you a really big clap. I know we can't hear you, but maybe everyone needs to. Oh, that looks so wonderful. Oh, look at everyone. Oh.
Well, that brings us to the most important part of our event, the reason why we are all here with our pieces of paper and our glass of champagne. Please sit tight on the paper for now, and Danielle will unmute everyone in preparation for us to all say cheers together.
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to unmute everyone. So if you're in a spot that's going to be really noisy, maybe just keep yourself on mute, and we'll see how we go. All right, I've unmuted everybody. Okay, so look, might be a little bit. Sorry, I've just muted everybody again because the noise is really loud. If you could just keep your pieces of paper down for now, and then we'll all hold them up a little bit later on so that we can scroll through and have a look. So I might unmute halfway through where we can all say cheers. So on behalf of Eloise and I, and a few of our board members here today who are also toasting their mum, we'd love you now to raise your glass. I'm not going to continue until I can see everybody's glass. Hang on, I need to scroll. Okay, right. I'm satisfied. Everybody has their glass up. Great. And we're raising our glasses as we acknowledge all of the mums who may no longer be here today, but remain in our hearts and live on in our memories and in our stories every single day. Out of significant loss, we have found each other, a whole community of thousands of women who understand, connect, and support one another. And perhaps that just might be our silver lining. I'm going to unmute and we're going to say cheers to our mums.
Cheers.
Cheers. Luncheon.
On everyone. Cheers.
All right.
Ladies.
Now, sorry, I've got to mute again. I feel like a real dictator. Now, can we hold up our pieces of paper? And please now take a moment to, mine's back to front, I think. Bugger. Scroll through and see all of the others that are there. I'll go through and I'll read some. Oh, these are great. Maria, love. Elaine, devoted. Pamela, creative. Kay, passionate. Linda, life. Eileen, unconditional. Janet, gentle. Sophie, inspiring. Carmen, strong. Oh, these are beautiful. Diane, perfect. Genevieve, loving. Coral, sensitive. Oh, Carol, miraculous. Marianne, beach. Helen, honest. Tess, spaghetti. Where else? Oh gosh, there's so many. This will all be recorded, by the way, so you'll be able to see everyone's, if you can't scroll through now. All right. Oh, thank you so much for preparing these and for taking part in our online toast. It's really so moving to be able to see everybody. I hope that you've really enjoyed it. And I just want to take this opportunity now to remind everybody about a couple of initiatives that we have online this week for MDA Awareness Week. Our first initiative is our hashtag Honouring Her initiative. It's up on the website now. We'll get it up on social media as well. But we'd love to invite everybody, hopefully every single one of you here today, to record a 15 to 20 second video where you can explain to us how you're going to be honouring your mum on Mother's Day. We want you to upload it to your social media accounts, tag us, and use the hashtag Honouring Her. We often get a number of inquiries from women who email or contact us and say, I don't know how to honour my mum on Mother's Day. Do you have any ideas? So it'd be really great to pull all of the ways that you're all honouring your mum and collate a really beautiful resource to share with people who aren't sure of what to do. So please do that for us. The second thing I want to talk about is our Sorry, I'm distracted by the chat. It's people are just saying really beautiful things in there. Second thing, MDA ambassador letter. If you haven't yet seen this or heard of this, it's on our website under the Mother's Day tab, and it's a letter that you can respond to any promotional emails that you receive that gently acknowledges that Mother's Day is a beautiful day that's celebrated by many, but for us it's challenging and quite sad, and it's designed to encourage companies and businesses to get involved with MDA and to help raise awareness. So please jump on and have a look at that. And the final thing that I want to let you all know, details will also be going up on our website and social media during the week, but we have very beautiful black twine bracelets available that have been designed in collaboration with Missy. They're an online jewellery brand, and it's got a silver pendant that says honouring her. They will be available for purchase for about $29, I think, and $5 from every bracelet is going to come to MDA. So maybe jump on there and buy yourself a bracelet for you this Mother's Day. And just really want to finish by saying that we know that there is nothing positive or uplifting about our mums not being here or living without our mums. But we as an organisation promise to really strive towards and maintain a positive and uplifting platform and space to help and to encourage everyone to live a fulfilled life with an army of women behind you. We hope that by connecting here and online via our support group and organisation in general, that you'll be equipped to approach and face Mother's Day with strength and confidence in knowing that we are all here for each other. Our promise to you and to every other Australian woman and girl who has lost their mum is that we won't stop until you're all supported and they're all supported and connected. And we promise to represent our community in the very best way that we know how, by advocating for and raising awareness of the lifelong impact and effects of mother loss. We'll be thinking of each and every one of you during this week and on Mother's Day in particular. And we really encourage you now to jump on to the support group if you're involved with that. It's on Facebook. If you're not, please join. And Eloise and I will be in there chatting and commenting back to anyone who wants to say anything about today. Please reach out, email, DM, whatever. Let us know if you know how you think we went today and if it's been a really nice experience for you. So thank you again for coming and being a part of this really special and really moving event. It's so I don't want to end the meeting because it's so nice, but as I said, the whole thing will be recorded, so we'll be able to watch back. And thank you, Christy, for being so candid about your story and so authentic. We really appreciate that as well. So I'm gonna end the meeting. I can see lots of people doing a heart shape. Thank you so much. All right. Bye, guys.